international multicultural talk and music. The following is an independently produced program. The views and claims dictated by the host and guests of the program are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or its advertisers. For sponsorship, music promotion, and business ads, call management at 347-699-6892.
This message is critical to your personal growth in 2019. 718-253-7273. That again, 718-253-7273. Jot this number down in your phone, your iPad. Store it on your computer, on a notepad, in a place where you can find it quickly, because at some point you will need it. It's the number for the most popular and most useful reader and advisor in our area. The world-famous African reader and advisor, Sister Duval.
That's right. I am Sister Duval, here to help you. What do you want in 2019? More money? Success in your career job? Maybe you need a better job. How about reuniting with a loved one? If you've been plagued by illness, bad luck, lack, or heartache, it is time for a change. Don't give up. I'm the African Reader and Advisor dedicated to making a difference in an imperfect world. Call me now for one free question by phone, 718-253-7273, and come see me at 1752 Flatbush Avenue, right at the corner of Avenue J in Brooklyn. And let's make 2019 one of the best years of your life.
Make your life a masterpiece. Imagine no limitations to what you can see, what you can be, what you can have, or what you can do. Call Sister Duval now.
If you see my Waterlane Entertainment, the 30-plus group, and Midday Medley presents the Jamaican Music Festival, Sunday, May 26th at the Royal Wilkins Park in Queens, New York, featuring Angel, Johnny Clark, I Octane, Derek Morgan, Tony Rebel, Matthew Diamond, Trevor Clark, Horace Andy, Al Jam, Ding Dong, Pinchers, Mr. Charisma, Dennis Al Capone, and Coyote. General admission $60, VIP $150. Prices will go up soon. Pick up your tickets in all the usual ticket outlets in Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Long Island. Call for more information, 631-336-8353. That's 631-336-8353. The Jamaican Music Festival. First time in New York, so come and celebrate the music of Jamaica. Your MCs, Comedian Lemon and Bossy Boy Floyd. Don't forget the date, Sunday, May 26th at the Roy Wilkins Park. You can't afford to miss this one.
We treat all accidents. Car accidents, construction accidents, slip and falls, work accidents. Our faculty has many doctors all in one place. Orthopedics for knees, shoulders, broken bones, etc. Neurology for head injuries and nerve pain. Chiropractic, physical therapy, acupuncture, and pain management. Our office is workers' compensation certified, so if you are injured on the job, you can be treated for free. Also, you can get paid for your lost wages until you're physically able to return to work. And you can still be treated for free.
That sounds fun.
You don't need a lawyer. Take care of your health first. We will provide the best lawyers that will come to the office or go directly to your house. Our attorney just won a case for $1.5 million. If you're injured in any accident, come to Dr. Jeff Mullins. Walk-ins are welcome, and there is no waiting. 718-802-0800. WorkersComp.brooklyn.com.
Every time I hear that, it makes me feel good. Woo! Make me feel good, Dino. Make me feel good. Keep on learning. Keep on
springtime in New York. And you're tuned in to Evenings with Eleanore. And I'm your hostess, Eleanore Mills. Thank you for joining me this evening and all the prior evenings from September 12th, 2018 to the present day, April 17th, 2019. A new year, a new season. Springtime in Brooklyn, New York. Welcome to King and Queen Radio and BrooklynStation.com. We're coming to you every day, 24/7 from Midwood, Brooklyn, for your listening and watching pleasure. And we certainly appreciate your viewership and for tuning in, for letting us know how you feel about us. And I have to admit, it's still the army of one, namely me. But you'll notice that I'm doing a heck of a lot better answering your emails a lot faster. And I thank you for noticing that. I thank you so much, my friends out in LA, for letting me know that you guys are tuning in every week, that you're enjoying us, playing the music of some of your local artists, like Derek McKeith, for an instance, and you know that we will keep doing that for your listening pleasure. Our friends in Paraguay, thank you so much for sharing your oldies playlist with us. We're very much tuned into you. Our friends in the Caribbean, in Ghana, thank you so much. Jamaica, thank you for submitting your links. We will be looking at them. I just want to remind you of a couple of things that are going on around the area, and a couple of shout outs, and to fill you in on our guest tonight. But first, I just want to remind you that it is the Easter weekend. And I know you're going to be gathering with family and friends, and what does that mean? That means another big meal, a lot of love in the house. So while you're coloring your eggs, making your calls and your dinner, whether you're going out or you're staying at home, remember the less fortunate, remember your neighbors, remember the elderly. We'll be visiting some of our friends and family that are shut in this week, and we do what our parents taught us. Reach out, share, touch base. And I'm asking you to do the same. You know the reason for the season? Love's in need of love today. And nobody says it better than Stevie, and nobody says it better than this song.
Oh!
gotta know it's up to us. It's up to you. And we can do it. We fought many battles, right? The weather. All my friends that are affected by inclement weather, in the Midwest, in the South, wherever you are, I'm wishing you God's blessings. Hope you're safe. Hope your family is safe. And our best to you for a wonderful Easter holiday season. Enjoy your weekend. I want to remind you that Sunday, May 26th, 2019, Waterlane Entertainment is presenting a Jamaican music festival in Roy Wilkins Park, Baisley Boulevard in Queens. Now, I know all you New Yorkers know where that is. But it's an amazing show. There are ticket outlets in the Bronx and Long Island, Mount Vernon, Queens, Brooklyn, New Jersey, everywhere. Just reach out. Your favorite artists are on this show. So how about showing your support and coming out Sunday, May 26th, Roy Wilkins Park, Jamaican Music Festival. There's never enough music. Take it from me. But before we get started with our guest tonight, I'd like to just share a few shout outs and a few tidbits from current events with you. Hoda Kotb from the Today Show has adopted a second daughter. And I mention that because I have friends and family members that have adopted children, and I think there is no greater gift. And kudos to people who extend their families by giving children or anyone a home, comfort, love. That's a good feeling. It makes me feel good. Hope it makes you feel good too. Congratulations to J-Lo. I communicate with J-Lo through Facebook, sometimes LinkedIn. Rarely, but we do communicate. She's been honored with the 2019 Council of Fashion Designers Icon Award. And you know she's always been bold, uninhibited, memorable, and with a body like that, you can see why designers love to dress her. So I'd just like to say congratulations to a homie, the Bronx, a Bronx girl. You know, my good friend Tad Schnook, who is no longer with us, I just wanted to wish you a happy birthday in heaven, to say you are missed. You have lots of friends here that miss you. Shout out to George Faison as well. We love you, George. Miss you, T. Beyonce, Lady Bay, drops a surprise homecoming live album with 40 tracks. That is amazing. I mean, Lady Bay is making history, guys, as the first black woman to headline the music festival. I mean, history, we're watching it. And of course, we've known her since day one. We've watched that brand develop. I'm very happy for her and very proud of her. You know, during her speech, she paid tribute to the black colleges. You know, she owns her ethnicity, and I'm really proud of her for that. You know, she makes no excuses, and one of the rare entertainers, people, women, who can make that statement. being the first black woman to headline the music festival, you know, she also showcased her group mates, Kelly and Michelle from Destiny's Child. You know, I appreciated that. That was a great way to go. And she said that she knew she had to go beyond great to legendary. And she's doing everything to prove it, that she is going to be that legend, or that she is that legend. You know, she made a statement that she was thankful for the beauty that comes with a painful history. Thankful for the beauty that comes with a painful history. And rejoice in the imperfections and the wrongs, she says, that are so damn right. She wanted everyone to feel grateful. She wanted women to feel grateful for their curves, for their sass, for their honesty, and for their freedom. And I think she makes a bold statement. And I can appreciate it. I'm sure you do as well. And who can deny the music? Kudos, Beyonce. Lady Bay. April 16th, people, is National Healthcare Decisions Day. Now, I don't want you to get lost in the good times and forget about taking care of yourself. You know, health is important. I keep saying health is wealth. You know, we're fighting for universal health care. And of course, I mentioned last week that maybe if you called it something other than Medicare for all, it might be more attractive. However, if I throw my hat in the ring and run for president of the United States, and that might sound like a joke to you, but after filling out my taxes, I think I have good reason to run for president. Because I think I'm in touch with people, what they need. I have their ear. And I think if I had to run on a platform, it would be, if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you. So I kind of think that the health care, if the health care that you want to give me, now you think about it. As a U.S. citizen, we elect our officials and we pay for their health care. Right? So they have the best health care. But the people that we pay the best health care for, take care of them, are debating what kind of health care to give us. And you better believe it's not what we are paying for their health care. So I'm saying, if the health care that you want to give me is okay, then it must be okay for you. So if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you. And that would be my platform. But getting back to National Healthcare Decisions Day, I just want to let you know that, you know, being a caregiver for my parents, it was important that you had certain documents in place. You know, even with kids in college, it's important that you have documents in place. If something happens to them, you need a health care proxy because they're legal age. You need a health care proxy to say, in case I'm incapacitated, I authorize this person to handle my affairs. And it's really important. It's really important. You know, a living will regarding your end of life care. I can appreciate my mom having a living will in place. Not that it made things any easier to handle, but I knew what she wanted. she took the time to make sure she had those things in place, and I appreciate it. So make sure that when you make your medical care decisions, that you do have a living will, that you do have a healthcare proxy and an agent, you know, whether it's a child or a relative or a friend that can look after your desires and your best wishes in case you can't. You know, if you're on vacation, something happens. I'm wishing you the best, but it's best to have these things in place. So hey, what's that? What's going on in there? Sounds good. Let's have a little bit of that. Woo! Oh yes, ladies back. History in the making. History in the making. You know, tonight we have one of my favorite folks on the show. A gentleman by the name of Aaron Akins. And I'm quite sure that you're going to really enjoy his work and enjoy talking to him. And Aaron is from the West Coast, from LA. 3 hours difference. Makes no difference. You know, some of us say the young kids have a weird idea of music. But I just want to remind you that when you take one of the most serious songs ever written, say Lush Life, Billy Strayhorn, just think about the depth of that song, whether it's lyric or music, and then realize that Strayhorn was 16 years old. 16! And I think that should dispel anything that you would have to say. Because creativity has no boundaries, no age, no genre. It's in the heart and mind and soul and spirit of the individual. I can't control yours, you can't control mine. You are that creative conduit. And one of the most delightful creative conduits is Aaron Akins. Aaron is what we would call a dynamic singer, a crooner, in the sense of Nat King Cole, with an impressive bio and body of work. Aaron wrote a project called God Made Women Beautiful. And some of his ideas in this project are really uplifting and dynamic. Just to read the words that say, it's absolutely imperative that there be some positive images and thoughts and words in music today. God Made Women Beautiful is an attempt to remind women about the truth of who they are. God made women beautiful because it has a message to all women, not just some. Every woman on the planet. I'm trying to remind them that they can't be anything but beautiful. Be happy with the skin you're in. We hear that every day. And any message that you want to get across, I think music is one of the best ways to get that across. To say that Aaron has had a very, very interesting and colorful career is putting it mildly. I met him when I was in LA, and we had the pleasure of working together for a short time. But hopefully that'll change one day. Let me tell you a little bit about him, because he's going to be calling in any minute. Oh, he's here. Thank you. Aaron Akins' music is something out of the ordinary. On his second studio album, Love Is All Around, produced by Daryl Swan, he sings compositions like God Made Women Beautiful, I'm Nothing If It Wasn't For You, Gotta Have You, and I Just Want to Love You, in which he pours out a heart filled with love and positive feelings and brings a smile to the face. That's putting it mildly. And I understand that Aaron is on the line right now, and I'd like to welcome you, Aaron Akins, to Evenings with Eleanore. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are things in LA with you?
Such an honor to be with you.
Oh, Aaron, the honor is all mine, believe me. I hear that you've been doing great things out there, and you know you're working tirelessly. I hear a lot from Robert Margoliff, our mutual friend.
Our mutual friend, Robert.
Yes. You know Robert's been on the show, right, with Trevor Lawrence and.
He told me he was on the show.
Yeah. Yes, he was. We had a great time.
Was that great?
We had a great time. Wherever he is, you know it's a great happening.
Right.
Aaron, I'm so happy that you were able to make it tonight with us. And
I'm happy as well. I'm so glad I was able to.
You know, in reading your bio, one of the most interesting things about your bio, and I've read a lot of them, the people that you work with, you also gave a brief history of their background, you know, to let us know where, you know, your production, your production staff came from at that point. For an instance, let's go with Love Is All Around. It was produced by Daryl Swan, who also produced Macy Gray.
Right. Yeah.
And I know that you, I really appreciate the way that this is written because it leaves nothing to the imagination. For an instance, you know, your affiliation with Capitol Records, you know, your extensive body of work. I mean, you must have a diet, a keto diet, because your energy level has to be through the ceiling. You know. Go ahead.
Before I forget, the latest thing that's not even out right now is actually an acting job.
Another one.
It's an acting job. I co-starred with a guy named Tim Robinson, and Tim Robinson was a writer for 5 years on Saturday Night Live, a writer-actor on SNL, and he has a new series coming out this coming Tuesday, the 23rd, August 23rd. Wait, no, we're not in August.
We are in
just
April.
This Tuesday. April. I'm thinking about something I was just talking about in August. Sorry about that. Okay,
No
April. This Tuesday, the 23rd.
Okay.
It comes out on Netflix, and it's called I Think You Should Leave. It's a sketch comedy, and it's kind of like Saturday Night Live.
Interesting.
And I played a young Herbie Hancock.
Oh my, that's no small task. That's no small task.
So that was an honor to do that.
Well, congratulations. You know, and I would hope that you would send me a little note so I can update my viewers on its release and where we can find it.
Thank you so much. I definitely will. I need to make a note of that to remind you. But yeah, this Tuesday on Netflix, and it's I Think You Should Leave. Tim Robinson.
You know, I have been marveling over this bio, and to just read a little bit for my listeners. You did a tribute to Nat King Cole.
Yeah, my man. That's my main guy.
Absolutely. On EMI and Capitol, and as I hear you speak, I can hear that timbre in your voice. And we will get around to playing a few of your tracks, but I wanted to say that on the Love Is All Around album that, you know, the names that are listed in the liner notes, such as, you know, CeeLo Green, will.i.am, Natalie Cole, Nas, and you even use the voice of Nat Cole on one of the tracks?
Well, what that project is, it's a project that I inspired and created the concept for. There's a story. Do I have time to tell us?
Absolutely, all the time you need.
There's a little story behind that. So I'm playing at B.B. King's at City Walk, at Universal City Walk.
Okay.
And my buddy, who I'd known for 2 years already, but strangely enough, I didn't know his last name. We would just, you know, hang out. And when I got off stage, he said, "Aaron, I didn't know you did some of my granddad's material."
What?
I said, "What did you say?" He said, I didn't know you did some of my granddad's material, because I did some Nat King Cole songs, and I did some original songs. And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, my mom is Carol Cole, Natalie Cole's sister, and my granddad is Nat King Cole. And I just like I was floored, just like, whoa, that's crazy. So I said to him, "Man, I have a whole album of songs by Nat King Cole, but they're arranged in a, contemporary way. He said, well, let me have it. So I gave him the CD. He comes back to me and tells me, my mom and Natalie had a picnic in the backyard and they listened to your CD and they loved it. And what they did, they decided to do an album just like mine, but to bring in some big stars like Will I Am, CeeLo Green, Nas, The Roots, Just Blaze, all these incredible artists, and to use Nat King Cole's voice. And that's how that project came about. It's called Nat King Cole Regeneration.
Now, would we be able to pull this up on YouTube?
I don't know if it's on. It might be, but I know they use some of the tracks for movie soundtracks and TV, and I was able to get it from the music store. But I'm sure you can get it. You can download it some kind of way, but I've never had to do that.
I think our station manager, which there is none better, Holly, has found it, and let's see if we can have a little taste.
Oh, that's Nat King Cole Regeneration?
All I knew
Yeah,
about
here
Nat
we
King
go.
Cole as a kid was Christmas.
You're singing it live in the club?
Christmas.
No. I'm singing something live. That's not Nat King Cole Regeneration. That's just me singing live.
Okay. Aaron, tell me about the track "What the World Needs."
What the World Needs was a song I wrote, and I wrote it, and it actually became a big hit in the steppers community. I don't know if you're familiar with Chicago stepping.
Of course.
It's sort of like an anthem in Chicago. What the world needs.
Okay, we're gonna share that track with our audience.
Okay.
But I also wanted you to tell our audience a little bit about your background, like how you came to do what you do. But first, let us have a little taste.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the last part you said.
We're going to play a little bit of What the World Needs.
Okay.
What the world needs now is love, sweet love, and love.
The name of
Let there be love.
it was Regeneration.
It's the greatest thing. I want you to want me to. I want you.
Yeah.
You know, it was awesome to hear your head tones. This is a side of you that I'd never heard. So when I was doing my due diligence, I was sitting there going, oh my goodness, this is wonderful. I'm reading your bio and it's saying that you describe your music as contemporary blend of jazz, urban, and R&B. And I
Right.
think the depth is amazing. Tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to do what you do.
Okay, it's kind of a lot, so I'll just start from when I first came as a teenager to LA. I got fortunate right away because I was singing at an office, a friend's office. No, I wasn't singing. I had some sheet music. I was getting prepared for a gig, and this guy, attorney from downstairs, he walked up and he noticed. To make a long story short, he asked me about myself. He came to hear me sing, and I ended up opening for Bob Hope at the Hollywood Palladium.
Awesome! What would you do for Bob Hope? I mean, was it your own material? You said you were a teenager.
I'm sorry?
Was it your material at that time? Were you writing or were you...
I did one of my songs and a cover song. I did 2 songs when I opened.
I mean, for a new kid on the West Coast to open for Bob Hope?
Yeah.
I mean, what was it, downhill from there?
I don't. Well, after that, I caught the attention of a guy named Henry Nemo. Now, you have to be like a classic jazz cat to know who Henry Nemo is, but he actually wrote really great songs that were recorded by Nat King Cole, Frank Sinatra. He wrote with Duke Ellington, and one day I caught his attention at a club, and he liked my voice, asked me to do a CD with him. So I recorded some of his original songs on that album.
Okay.
So, and he had written for Sarah Vaughan, pretty much all the Guns, all the classic jazz singers from the 40s.
What drew you to Nat Cole?
I was somehow I sang Mona Lisa at like a karaoke sort of setup. Just was messing around and some friends. Well, the people there, it was kind of a small setting, but the people there, they went like, wow, and I was like, what? It was like a hush went over the audience, and I didn't know what was going on. So afterwards, I started asking, but why was everybody so like, what happened? And they would all say, you sound really like Nat King Cole.
Oh.
You sound like Nat King Cole. So I kind of like discovered that I sounded like Nat King Cole.
Well, we're going to discover that too because I want to play Mona Lisa.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. From my CD?
Yes. Absolutely.
Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa, Mona Lisa. It happened. You're so light with the mystic smile. Is it only 'cause you love me? They have made you. Mona Lisa strangeness in
gosh, that is beautiful, Aaron.
There's a little story behind that song. It ended up being placed on a BRE compilation. That stands for Black Radio Exclusive, because the year that I put it out, it came on the radio. And I ended up on a compilation with Jay-Z and Destiny's Child and people like that. But if you say Jay-Z, that's kind of like, oh my God, I don't think about that much.
You have such a versatile background, and I think visually, that has taken you to videos and movies and recordings, and I'd just like to share with my audience that you wanted to make your mark in music, but because of your visual, your refined look, that you were offered roles in a number of videos and TV specials, and you were even with Gene Hackman in one of the movies, Split Decisions, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So tell me about that. How was that?
I learned a lot from him, because I was pretty green at acting, but he did some things. He pushed me around a bit, and I didn't know what was going on, and he was just trying to make the scene intense. And he just caught me off guard, and I went back into him. I was like, what, I'm from Chicago, man. What are you pushing me for? So we ended up getting a great scene out of that. But yeah, that was something that I did.
Well, I think anybody, when you're working with Gene Hackman, you're sort of green, because he's the top of the top. Extremely skilled actor, great background, and that must have been such an honor to work with him. Tell me about
I was really green and super young, back then when I did that as well.
Tell me about the videos that you've appeared in.
Well, this takes me back, but
Well, we want to know your humble beginnings. You know that.
Well, there's a video that your audience would know definitely. It's by Billy Ocean, and the song is Suddenly.
Okay.
And that song, I think it went to #1, but Suddenly I was the lead in that video.
Awesome. We will definitely take a look. Definitely take a look. Any others that we might know?
I did one for Glenn Frey, a song called Sexy Girl.
Aaron, I know that you are such a great writer, as we've just heard. But tell me, what's your inspiration for writing? How long have you been writing?
Well, when I came to LA, when I first came to LA and you're performing, you all of a sudden very quickly find out that you have to write your own songs, in order to move forward, to advance.
Some producers will say a singer can't write their own songs, and I see you disagreeing with that. I've heard some great producers say that.
No, I don't think that's true. I think maybe it's for someone. I have a song right now that's on Netflix in a movie starring Antonio Banderas that I wrote.
Well, tell me about it.
It's actually, that song is actually on my album, on my CD that you have. The song is called I Just Want to Love You, okay. And the movie is called Black Butterfly.
Is it out yet?
It's out. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
You can search it on Netflix.
We'll definitely do that.
Antonio Banderas and Jonathan Rhys Meyers.
Oh, yeah. I think we can pull it up and let's hear a little bit. That would be awesome.
Yeah, it's a psychological thriller, but it's a movie, so
Is it a theme?
it's a psychological thriller
Okay.
movie.
Okay.
But my song it's in about the first 10 minutes, but you would have to watch the movie in order to hear it.
Well, luckily, we've got Holly, because we can pull it up.
Really?
What happened to Zena Polly? You got Zena.
Give me 1 second, I will
Well, you
do
got
that.
Holly.
I will do that.
Yeah.
I just wanna love you.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you where you've been.
I'll get that
I'm not telling you how to sing. I'm not playing games at all, baby.
All right.
I just wanna love you. I just wanna love you. I just wanna love you.
Brooklyn Station.
wanna love you. I just wanna love you. When I wake up and the sun is in your eyes, and I look at you, girl, I realize there's not much more for me to do. Just think about how to love you, how to love you. I'm not gonna ask you what kind of car you drive. I don't wanna get mad at you anytime. I don't wanna discuss right and wrong. I just wanna love you.
I just want to remind you that you are watching and listening to Evenings with Eleanore on King and Queen Radio and BrooklynStation.com. And we're talking to Aaron Akins tonight. But before we get back to Aaron's interview, I just want to let you know that King and Queen Radio, BrooklynStation.com, Livestream.com, KNQ Radio, YouTube.com, King and Queen Radio, and SisterDubong.com. If you have any questions whatsoever or comments on this show or any show on the station, please contact the owner, Zena Pollen, at 718-253-7273. Once again, that's Zena Pollen at 718-253-7273. And you're tuning in to King and Queen Radio, coming to you from Midwood, Brooklyn, New York, with Aaron Akins, our guest for the evening. Aaron, I want to thank you so much again for sharing your journey with us and your extensive, enviable bio, your career.
Such an honor, just such an honor. I'm so grateful that I'm able to be with you here.
I'm telling you, to make the decision to move from Chicago, major market, music is really happening in Chicago, always has, and I'm assuming always will, to move to the West Coast. You had to have or take advantage of the industry on all levels out there, and you seem to have done that, from videos to movies to music and your work with Capitol Records. Are you still on Capitol?
No, I'm not on Capitol. But I'm doing like different stuff. For example, I got nominated by Broadway World as the best cabaret concert artist male in Los Angeles,
Awesome!
alongside Ben Vereen.
Congratulations!
Thank you.
Congratulations!
Thanks. Yeah. So
You know, I haven't had the pleasure of watching you in person, but I'm sorry, the mic keeps going out for some reason. But I have watched a lot of your performances live online, and I noticed that you do sound a lot like Nat Cole. But you also have that Sam Cooke flavor. Have you been told that?
Yeah, I have been told that a time or two. Yeah.
Do you have
Yeah.
any of his tunes in your repertoire, or?
No, because I mostly do kind of my own original stuff. But, if I'm not throwing some of the Nat tunes in there.
I see.
You know who I've been playing with lately, though?
Who's that?
Marvin Smitty Smith, who is a drummer, probably one of the best drummers in the world. He played with Kevin Eubanks on this. He was on the Tonight Show, the Tonight Show band for like 15 years.
Mm-hmm. So you're recording original material?
I'm sorry?
You're recording original material?
No, we just did some live. We did a live performance together.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
I know that you were all awarded the Golden Star Halo Award from the Southern California Motion Picture Council. Tell me a little bit about that for your singing and composing abilities.
That award was just like another one of those things that just came out of nowhere. I mean, I don't even know why they gave me that award. No, seriously, like it was such a honor to get it because the Southern California Motion Picture Council, people like Sammy Davis Jr. are.
Oh, you're in great company.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I do know what you mean.
And so I'm like, whoa. So they just wanted to really honor me, and what a great thing that was.
It is a great thing. You should be extremely proud of that. Extremely proud.
I mean those were the early days from that award. I also performed at the North Sea Jazz Festival in Holland alongside some of the greats like Al Jarreau and Ray Charles and Eric Clapton. The North Sea Jazz Festival is the largest jazz festival in the world.
There isn't very much that you haven't done and very much that you can't do. But I especially wanted to take the time to get to know you and the project God Made Women Beautiful. You've got to take the time to tell me about that project.
Well, God Made Women Beautiful is in my opinion, probably the most important thing that I've done. It's a song that I wrote. I got inspired. I was just walking on Venice Beach, and the melody came to me, and the lyrics pretty much at the same time. Usually when the melody and the lyrics come to me at the same time, I know I have something. So I ran, picked up a piece of paper off the ground, and went to this little pizza place and said, "Do you have a pen?" And I got a pen and I just started writing everything down. But I had to remember the melody all the way on the freeway, all the way home, because you can forget melodies.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm singing into my phone constantly.
Right. Mm-hmm. You know how it goes. And so God Made Women Beautiful is something that came to me, and it's really, like you were saying earlier, it's, women can only be beautiful because God, if you think about it, Eleanor, think about it, God can't make something that's not beautiful, right?
I agree.
I don't think God made anything that's not beautiful.
I keep saying, if you've listened to the show, that, God had a master plan, and you're in it.
Right.
That's the most beautiful gift ever. Ever. I can imagine you being on Venice Beach with all the beautiful women around and being inspired.
Well, it was definitely an inspiration, but it's coming more from all women are beautiful because, my idea is that it's really about the character of a woman. So
it's a universal perspective, huh?
yeah, it's more about the character. Like I think character is what makes a woman.
I think so.
You know, just like just a good character. You know, because you know you could be a drop dead model and really be a nasty person, and that's not beautiful.
I agree. I mean, beauty being in the eye of the beholder. You know, that's deeper than people realize. You know, I guess beauty being in the eye of the beholder, most folks think that it's a physical statement.
So you know, so what I put together is that I think we're all a piece of God. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And so, if I'm a piece of God and you're a piece of God, it's impossible to be anything but beautiful.
I agree. I love that perspective. I love
you know
that
what I mean?
perspective.
So
yes,
I think you know if women, and obviously the same thing goes for men, but I'm a man talking about women from a man's perspective.
We are talking about your perspective.
Right?
And you said that this message is for every woman on the planet.
Every single woman on the planet. All she has to do is know that she's a piece of God, and you just understand that it's impossible to not be beautiful. You know what I mean?
I understand. So we're going to play.
It's an impossibility.
We're going to play this track, and we're going to continue to talk about it because it's just the most beautiful track ever.
Oh, thank you. That's the sweetest thing ever. Thank you so much.
On Venice Beach, and I'm thinking about nothing in particular. Then I look left and see God made women beautiful. God made women beautiful. When I'm sitting in the library,
your phrasing. I
thank you.
love your phrasing. I mean, the phrase women, the way you work the word women, I love that.
Oh, great. I was, it's not like I listened to my own song, so I was sitting here grooving to it.
As I was telling my audience earlier, that I can hear your passion, your expressiveness, the technique, and I don't know, in my head I can just see you performing this. You can probably call it a vocal crush, because I love all things Nat Cole. I mean, I can't tell you one thing that I don't like about Nat Cole. His music, his persona, his just everything. Just to listen to his music, and I do hear that quality in your voice. If he took it one step further, I'm telling you, that would be you. Your expressiveness is amazing. Mona Lisa.
Well, I have to be honest with you. I'm so passionate about that song that I really go ballistic.
I hear it. I hear it.
I mean, I'm really trying to tell women for real that you're beautiful for real. This is not just a song. This is like a statement. This is like me trying to really, let you know that that's what I really believe. I'm not just saying some cute stuff.
You think somewhere along the way that women forgot?
I'm glad you asked that question, because with this song, I've noticed that some women don't really believe they're beautiful. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Yeah.
And yes, to answer that question, yes, they forgot. And I think it's because they haven't had men to be courageous enough to remind them about the truth of who they are.
Romance has taken a left turn. You used to be able to see a classic movie and a classic love scene and you would melt. I mean, there hasn't been a memorable love scene that I can remember, and I see quite a few movies. Like a Greta Garbo, or a Raisin in the Sun, or romance. Romance, I think, is not there, or is not fashionable anymore.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened. All I know is I'm honored that God used me as an instrument to even transmit that song.
Yeah, we will be playing it a lot. Believe me, I love it. I absolutely love it. And the message, I think, we have a lot of women being fat shamed, and I could go on and on. But I said earlier that be happy with the skin you're in.
Yeah.
And this reinforces that message, I believe.
Yeah, I just, and the fact that, our society, our culture, the climate, have kind of put women in a position where they think they have to do and be a certain way, to look a certain way, in order to be impressive, because of
the standards
climate
of beauty
today and the way what people are saying, is impressive. And I don't know, it seems like it needs to be a whole new approach to what's impressive.
Ah, that's an interesting perspective. Huh.
Just a whole new revamping of what's impressive, because
finding someone to set that standard is going to be quite difficult.
Yeah, quite the undertaking, right? It's unfortunate.
It really is unfortunate. But I think God did make women beautiful. And as I said earlier, and as you said, God made men beautiful. And hopefully, we will get back on the romantic track, the romance track. That we will overcome this glitch in our history, whether love is in need of love today or people need to reach out and be compassionate toward one another. There is a lot missing, and I don't think we forgot. I think the focus has changed a little, you know? Being a single female myself, you know, I was talking to someone earlier this week, and, you know, it's quite difficult to maintain that career or that job or that home life or that relationship in today's climate. It's extremely difficult. But somehow, you seem to find a way. You will find a way. You know, I have a few single fathers in my network and single mothers. And they talk about their love interests and how difficult it is to raise a family today and have a relationship and have a career. So some things have to go lacking. You know, like what's important to you.
Right, I think it's a shift in well, it's definitely a level of awareness. You know, it's definitely a level of awareness that we must have, you know, just, you know, because it's really pretty simple. If we're a piece of God, then there it is. I don't think God can make anything that's not beautiful. I just don't.
I agree with you. And I think we should push that statement. We'll keep it active. But meanwhile, Aaron, tell our listeners where we can find your links, what's coming up, and your career and your performances.
Well,
what's on the horizon?
I have a website that whenever I do a performance, it's Into the Cole, www.into the COLE as in Nat King Cole.
As in Nat Cole.
IntoTheCole.com, and I'll put it on there, and you know, it's always there. And then, you know, I have GodMadeWomenBeautiful.com. I always post something there.
Awesome! I'll take a look at that.
Yeah, GodMadeWomenBeautiful.com.
I'll take a look at that.
And I will also, you and I will be in contact, and you know, maybe I'll be doing a performance in that area.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And of course, the door is always open. The door is always open. In talking to you and listening to your music, I know what separates you from the competition. And I know that there has to be lots and lots on the horizon. You've told our listeners how to get in touch with you, and I'd just like to know, as a singer, songwriter, performer, actor, who do you listen to? What's your influence?
You know, I like John Legend. I like John Legend. You know, by the way, all of our heavy hitters are gone. Prince,
yes.
Michael, you know, Marvin, Curtis. They're pretty much all the greatest singers in the world are gone.
We could say that about every generation of artists. You know, we could go back to Pops, Ella, you know, Jolson, Streisand. We could go as far back as you want to go. That means that there has to be a new generation of the greatest singers of this generation, of which I've had a few on the show, and I have a few coming up, of which you are one, I feel. Gene Corn.
Oh, thank you so much.
You know, Gene Corn. I happen to absolutely love John Legend. But there are, I feel, lots of artists. You know, it might not be your chosen genre, but there are a lot of creative folks out there.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
A lot of
It's
creative
just
folks
that-
out there.
You know, but those distinctive voices like Marvin,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean?
Absolutely, I do. I do. Tell me something, Aaron, that you're not very good at.
No, that's just a really sweet thing. I'm not, you know, I only know a little. I really do.
Are you into
God,
sports, or, you know, are you
I was
into
an athlete.
cooking?
Yeah, I played high school and college basketball. I was pretty good. I was the captain of the team and blah blah blah. That was back then, but now music is my passion. You know.
So you don't get on the court every now and then just to...
No, I'll jump a little rope and and jog a little bit, but no, my basketball days are pretty much over just because, I have so much I'm doing,
You know, in the industry today, there are lots and lots of obstacles or hurdles for new artists. Did you personally face hurdles, and tell new artists how you overcame them?
That's a really good question, and my answer is passion is the one word that I would use, because you have to have passion, because if you don't really love what you're doing, you will fall by the wayside easily. You have to, with me, it was a commitment that I was going to do. I remember when I was really, really, really young, I remember saying that I'm going to do this whether I make it or not. And if I don't make it, I'll be able to say, I spent my life having a really good time.
I got it. I always say, I'll never know if I didn't make it. Every day is a Grammy. Just to be here, another day to get it right. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's huge right there, what you just said. I went and got all my blood tests, for liver, kidney, colon, prostate, all good. So guess who's successful? I am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I just did a segment earlier, about health checks, and I do it constantly. People take health for granted. Not that we don't have, as I said earlier, universal health care, but try to take care of yourself so you can avoid the pitfalls, the health pitfalls.
Trust me, if you get sick, making $100 million is going to become insignificant. The only thing you'll be thinking about is, how do I get rid of? So it's super important to go, take some time, get checked, get everything checked, and if you have something that you can handle, like cholesterol or sugar, and that's something that you can exercise and diet and manage, you're successful, and the rest you can go for, but you're already successful because you live to go for it another day.
Absolutely. Agreed. Which I can tell by your conversation that you have had quite a few experiences, and you have overcome quite a bit to have a career as stellar as what I'm reading in this bio. I know that
it's still going, and it's going to continue to go because, I don't think saying that I love God is religious at all. I think it's a very spiritual thing, and that's where I get my power from, is God.
Absolutely. You know it. I mean, we should all have a belief in a higher power. But it's up to the individual.
Absolutely. You can't make anybody be anything, and bless you can't make anyone be anything that they don't want to be.
Absolutely.
I'm just saying, for me, that's where I get my power from.
I have, as I said, being in the industry, your friends and your co-workers, your peers, are from all walks of life and all cultures and all religions. So you have to be respectful of people's beliefs, whether you agree or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can't, what can you do? You can't make someone be something that they're not. So
that's true.
I know atheists and agnostics and,
absolutely. And the key word is respectful.
Yeah.
Be respectful of their beliefs. Earlier you spoke about John Legend. And I wanted to, as a mature woman that, has a life outside of music, John Legend, being one of my idols and one of yours as well, is very outspoken regarding politics. Do you feel that artists should be outspoken in other areas, or should they just stick to, as some say, music? Just dribble?
I think that's up to the individual, I think certain people have, a temperament for certain things and the ability to communicate certain things better than other people. So I think it's, that would be, a kind of individualistic thing, in my humble opinion. I don't think because you were blessed with talent, that means you, and if you are successful at what you were gifted with, it doesn't mean you try to do something that you really don't have much insight about,
Or to use your celebrity to influence others? Is that what you are saying?
Well, I think if anything that one can do to better the masses or better other people, that's a good thing no matter how you look at it. But I don't think that a person, because he's an artist, if he doesn't pursue a political, take a political position,
or have an opinion,
or even.
But politicians seem to feel that celebrity backing enhances their platform. So there must be some need or draw there. Taylor Swift or Willie Nelson or Kamala Harris in your neck of the woods. She's got a huge celebrity following.
Mm-hmm.
And celebrities do have opinions. A lot of their body of work, Sandra Rhimes, a lot of the body of work of artists address something other than music or acting. Take Blackish for an instance. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that sitcom.
Yeah, I am. Mm-hmm.
So there are statements being made, whether it's comedic sitcoms or whether, and I noticed recently that a lot of artists are donating to political campaigns. Now, whether this makes a difference, or do you feel that this will affect their career negatively or positively in some way?
That's a very deep question in a certain way, because this person, it's just very difficult to talk. You know, it's very difficult to talk about politics because I have some very strong opinions about certain things, and you have people that are listening to you right now.
Absolutely.
And I'm not into controversy. You know what I mean?
I understand totally. I understand totally. You know,
I believe that that topic is very difficult to talk about it.
You know, as an artist, as a mature artist, as a woman, as an individual, as a person with a business, you're incorporated. You know, you're affected by taxes. You're affected by the laws regarding royalties or payouts or copyrights. At some point, you're affected, and you're going to have an opinion, and you're going to have to speak up. You're going to have to let it be known that you do function. And all these things are affecting every other business, whether it's your taxes. I don't know if, I know a lot of musicians don't pay taxes, but I do. And I was affected greatly this year, and I'm assuming, and I have been affected greatly because I don't have dependents or whatever, I'm single, and of course that's a different tax bracket. But you are affected, and you're gonna be affected more. And whether it's a favorable opinion that you have or not, doesn't make it any less a fact of life. But some artists feel free, like John Legend, to speak up and say, this is what he dislikes, or this is a solution to the problem.
Yeah, I think you just have to choose your battles and know your, know your audience and it's just it's what it is. It's politics, and right now the climate today with the politics, it's a real nightmare. A real nightmare of what's going on in the White House. So I said it.
Well, there have been a lot of nightmares. There are nightmares for your parents and my grandparents and their parents, So the politics changes with each administration, and you have to make those adjustments. You might not like them. You can talk about them, but the great thing about it is, if you don't like it, you can express your feelings. If you do like it, you can still express it. This is the great country we live in. Things are changing. People are speaking up. And of course, you pay the price. But what do you do? Accept
Well, I think, if you really want to advance further to the point where you can help more people,
yes,
before you get chopped off, right? You wanna get yourself in a position where you're big enough to be able to take some big hits, because people are listening and people are watching, right?
People are watching King and Queen Radio and listening to BrooklynStation.com right now, and we're talking with Aaron Akins. Aaron, is 3 hours difference between where you are and where I am?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me how you spend your day. Are you recording, or you preparing for a gig tonight, or what's happening in LA?
Well, I was just emailing back and forth about a gig, right? I had to stop my flow because I knew I was getting ready to do an interview, which I'm totally excited. This is so much fun and so awesome. I'm glad that you have this platform, and we met and we worked together and got to know each other a little bit, and this is just awesome. So, I'm a writer, and I'm a composer and a singer and actor, and so I have to try to force myself to discipline, and I like having fun. So, I have to discipline myself.
I agree.
And I let God help me discipline myself and say, okay, you have to spend a certain amount of hours doing this, a certain amount of hours doing that. Just can't sit around
and take it for
have
granted.
coffee and play with your, hang out.
That's true. Aaron, tell me about I'm Nothing If It Wasn't For You. You got to tell me what the inspiration was for that song.
You're asking some intriguing questions, and the reason why is because I wrote that open-ended for everyone to decide. But it's just I'll be honest with you and your audience, it's a little bit of a trick. I tried to sing it where it would sound like it could be like a lover or anything. And I'm blowing it right now because you asked me this question. But really, that song is totally about God.
Okay, I'm nothing if it wasn't for you. Let's hear this lyrics.
I even, Eleanore, when I sing that, I never tell the audience what it's about. That's why I started smiling right when you asked me that question. I knew I was going to have to tell you.
You know you were.
It's totally inspired by God. I mean, think about it. I'm nothing if it wasn't for God, right?
That's right. And as a writer, you want to know what your inspiration is. I want to know that story. Here we go.
Happy good.
If it wasn't for you, I might just go out of my mind.
It kind of sounds like about a woman, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I mean, the bass line, it's like funky, nasty blues. I love that. I love it, Aaron. You are so versatile. I see that you've also been honored by the American Society of Young Musicians.
Yeah, that's. Oh yeah,
Fill me in.
you reminded me of stuff. I got a chance to perform for Lisa Marie Presley and Priscilla Presley. But it was for Lisa Marie. It was the one and only time she received an award at the House of Blues.
Oh,
right?
I see. Okay.
She received an award, and I didn't know the difference. They were both sitting in the audience, and I was looking at Priscilla, thinking it was Lisa Marie, and Priscilla pointed without Lisa knowing. She pointed at me, saying, "Sing to her." I thought they wanted me to sing Mona Lisa, but I had the person wrong. I was singing to Priscilla and not to Lisa Marie. So I was informed. Just a small mistake.
We've all had them. Believe me, we've all had them. You just keep moving, keep it moving.
Yeah, they they looked kind of alike from where I was,
I see that you've worked with an Indonesian group.
Oh yeah. That's when I went to Indonesia and to the North Sea when I performed at the North Sea Jazz Festival.
Were you performing your music or their music?
I was performing some of my original material.
When you travel and the local musicians are backing you up, your lead sheets or your arrangements take on a whole different tone. Sometimes you get the local flavor or you get something that's really technical and you can't find your groove. Does this happen when you're out there?
Well, the musicians were really pros, really for an event like that. They were really, even though they were Indonesian musicians, they were all professional. So I didn't have a problem with it.
Interesting.
I didn't have a problem with it.
Has the road changed for you?
Going on the road?
Yeah. I find that being out on the road now is a lot different, being that there used to be an organization when you're on the road. Now it's sort of a bunch of individuals that come together. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it depends on, the situation. Yeah, there's, Peter Gunther, who was really one of the founders of the North Sea Jazz Festival and one of the richest men in Indonesia, maybe the 66th richest man in Indonesia. He was the one who,
You mean he couldn't make 65?
But very, very super wealthy, and he got both money.
I was super wealthy till I filed my taxes.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Till I filed my taxes. I mean, man, it's tough to work many, many years and have things in place and then all of a sudden say, what the? Back to square one.
But you're healthy though, right?
I'm not even going to approach that. I'm not even going to respond. Yes, I'm healthy. I'm healthy.
Yeah, right?
Not as happy as I want to be, but healthy. Just to remind my audience that you are listening to King and Queen Radio and BrooklynStation.com and yours truly, Eleanore Mills, on Evenings with Eleanore. And we've been speaking this evening with Aaron Akins, one of my favorite artists, and I'm sure one of yours too after tonight. I want to remind my audience that you can find Aaron's music on YouTube. And Aaron, I'm sure you have a website that you can pass along to our audience.
Yeah, www.intothecole.com.
Got it. And we can also find you at allaboutjazz.com?
No, that All About Jazz is a magazine, a big online jazz magazine. They interview me. So,
okay.
You can actually read an article, but it'll be, I guess you can find me on All About Jazz. What am I talking about? I thought you wanted a specific, more of a specific, but if you go to All About Jazz, you can put Aaron Akins in the search. And
awesome, I hope you guys heard that.
Extensive interview with me.
I tried to do my homework. And sometimes
you
I sit
did
here.
Incredibly well. I'm extremely impressed.
I was talking to the guy last week and I said, oh yeah, your website at wherever. And he said, yeah, you can reach me here. And I pulled up the website and it said, under construction. So
oh my God, I'm glad that didn't happen to me. You were able to find stuff on me. I'm somebody, I exist. I'm a real person.
I got to say, we had a guest on the show, Richmond Punch. He's a classical violinist. And every week I get updates from where he is, what he's doing, his new releases, pictures, and everything. I mean, your bio and Richard's information is the most thorough that I've ever seen in my life. You are very well represented. And before I let you go, no pun intended, I would like to thank you so much for granting Evenings with Eleanore an interview. And of course, one of my favorites. Well, we're going to be in touch. We're going to be friends for life. We have those around here. But one of my favorite tracks of Nat Cole was Nature Boy. And I noticed that you recorded that track as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I had to do that.
I cannot let you get away without letting us hear this song.
That's not Nature Boy.
I know. I got you.
Girl, you know just what the deal.
I call that my sexy song. Got to have it.
All your songs are sexy songs. Come on.
Ain't no complications. There's nothing to stop us. It's just me and you. Your body's calling for me. I can see that you want me. Let's just keep this easy move. Because I need you, baby. I just want to have you. I just got to have you. Do you know just how I feel?
I know how you feel.
I just want to have you.
That was a sexy song.
Say he wandered very far, very far.
smile. But very wise was he. And then one day, a magic day he passed my way. And though we spoke of many things, fools and kings, this he said to me. Oh, greatest thing you ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, and love, and love. Let there be love is the greatest thing. I want you to want me too. I want you, and I want you to love me too. Baby, the greatest thing is to love, is to love somebody and be loved and returned. I want you.
Aaron Akins, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron, that is beautiful.
Thank you
Beautiful.
so much. What a great honor it is to be here with you. So
You know,
thank you so much.
I do want to say that you are in the cold. Your work has been amazing. And the tracks, the flavor that you have added to the work of Nat Cole is going to make you one of the great singers of our time. Your writing, your acting,
Thank you so much.
you are versatile. You are what we called, in my day, well-rounded. You know, you act, I don't know if you dance, but
I move well. That's what they call it.
yes,
Move well.
I'm one of those.
Okay, so you understand.
I'm one of those.
Hey, I'm a stepper though. I'm from Chicago. I can step.
I'm going to see it too. I'm going to hold you to that because I do want to see you step. But I'd like to remind my audience that you can find Aaron Akins' work on YouTube, at his website, and you can also touch base with Evenings with Eleanor, and we'll get you in touch with Aaron. Aaron, I thank you so much.
Should I leave my email address?
Absolutely, you can do that.
Okay, it's Aaron Akins Music at Gmail. It's easy. My name, music at Gmail. Aaron Akins Music at Gmail. AARONAKINS music at gmail.com.
You have another call on your phone.
Yeah, I didn't answer it.
Thank you.
It's not as important as this incredible interview.
Thank you so much, Aaron. I will be in
I'm
touch.
going to come to New York and do something there.
Absolutely, and I want
I'm
to thank you.
I'm going to go to Chicago first in June, and then I'm going to try to make it over to New York.
Oh,
So,
please do. We will be expecting you. We'll
You know,
leave a
I
light
played
on in
at
the
Joe's
window.
Pub. I did play at Joe's Pub there in Manhattan.
Awesome! I mean, you know
Yeah.
we're a major market. New York is home to everybody. Thank you again for joining us. We're going to be looking for you and we're going to keep in touch.
Thank you so much, Eleanore. I look forward to connecting with you soon.
And I want to thank you so much for working on my project, Hello Love. You know Hello Love has been released.
Oh yeah, that was great. That was a great event. Hello Love and the other
And
one.
Higher Ground, absolutely.
Higher Ground.
Absolutely. We have a great family in LA. I want to thank you guys for your support and for being in my corner. I want to thank my listeners for tuning in each week. We'll be looking for you next week here at King and Queen Radio. Join us every day of the week, 24/7. Reach out to Zena Pollen here at King and Queen Radio with any questions, 718-253-7273. I want to thank Holly for being her wonderful self again this week. All our staff here at the station, we appreciate you, we love you. We will see you next week, same time, same station, King and Queen Radio, Wednesday nights from 9 to 11 p.m. And yours truly, Eleanore, look for us. We love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you, Eleanore.
Love you
That was
much.
incredible.
Give everybody out there a big hug for me if you would.
I will. I'll tell Robert about how incredible this was.
Oh, awesome. And I'll touch base. Give me a couple of days. I'll be in touch.
Okay, thanks.
Love you.
All right, love you too. Bye-bye.
That's Aaron, the background of this. Nothing makes you feel like love. Al Goodman, Walter Morris.